Cool. Good afternoon or good morning for some of you. My name is Dariusz Błaszkiewicz, and today I would like to discuss with you why developers, which we know today, might fail in the future. And let me go to the next slide right now. Who am I? I was not programming before my studies, and when I got to Warsaw University of Technology, everyone was saying that you need to be a Java developer to be successful in the future. So if everyone is saying that, I've started to be a Java developer. Back then, I was working with Google Cloud, but I didn't understood well why we are doing all of those things, why we are building all of those functionalities, and what impact on business do we have. Long story short, I've joined Accenture then, and right now my position at Accenture is Salesforce architect. I'm doing a lot of fun things right now, related mostly to Salesforce, but also DevOps and integration. But I have some other activities. I'm trying to expand my consulting company called the DBIT. I also have a new initiative called Salesforce Academy, where I'm trying to teach new people how to work with Salesforce. And the last thing is that I have a new blog called Road to CTA, where I'm describing what is my road to get the highest certification in Salesforce, which is called CTA. And there is only around 200 people around the world with this certification, so it will be quite a challenge, I guess. The idea behind this topic is that from all sides, I hear that being a developer is a great future. People say that developers make a bunch of money, they have flexible working hours and so on. But can you imagine a world without developers? Can you imagine even a world without code? It was just 70 years ago. And I would like to show you that we have a different future alternatives. Funny is that when I was getting more and more experience, I was asking myself much simpler questions. What exactly is programming? For me, programming is like a sequence of tasks which you want your computer to perform. And those tasks can be like blocks of code, and they can also interconnect with each other. And at the end, like to simplify everything, it's like a front-end button click has some action on the backend, and the backend is coming, like information from the backend is coming back to the front-end side. Overall, programming is that simple. And this is an example of 9 basic language code. And for programmers who are listening right now, there is not a big change from 1964. We are using the same structures which we have been using in 1964. So we are using assignment statements, if loops, and for loops and if statements. And even before 1964, the concept of object-oriented programming was what was introduced. So do you see how old, with how old technology we are working right now? But it's not like we didn't do anything. We've made a lot. We've created thousands of libraries, frameworks, security improvements, but they are only some kind of abstractions of the basic. Front-end frameworks, they are changing so fast that we are not able even to learn anything. It's not possible. Although it's not hard for you. Is it hard for you to move from one language to another, like from React native to React, or from Java to Python? I guess it would take you like few weeks, mostly. And keep in mind that we are still using the same core concepts at the end. We just need to adjust to the new language requirements, and that's all. And on every career level, juniors, seniors, or mid developers, they are asking themselves a question. I was asking myself this question: should I learn Python, or should I learn Haskell or Scala or whatever? The answer is yes, you should learn it, and because it will open you for new possibilities. Like, this is a new way of thinking. Every programming language, it's a new way of thinking. but still at the end you will be using the same core concepts which were introduced in the basic language. Can you imagine that those languages, can you imagine maybe that in the future, those languages which you see on the chart will not be leading in the future? And can you imagine that business people will take over the whole development? 15 years ago, the whole world was sure that TV advertisements are the best way of advertising. But right now, can you imagine that TikTok is bringing the most value for most revenue for companies? Like, was it expected? From my point of view, no. And the same will be with the languages. And programming is only 10% of writing code and 90% of understand why it's not working. In reality, even when you know the language well, this is what we are paid for. Our goal is to move from this 90% of understanding why it's not working to focus on delivery content. And I hope that in the next 5 years, we will move from this into this, that the programming will be only 50%, or not only, but it will be 50% of writing code and 50% of understanding business, because understanding business is the core of the future programming. And cloud is the first answer to this requirement. How we can reduce time spent on understanding things that not working. Today, we don't even discuss about moving implementations to cloud. We just do it. It's something natural. And it was only just 10 years ago. People were quite skeptical about cloud. They didn't believe that it can be like near future. The same will be with programming. Natural will be go with the next abstraction sooner than we expect, to not write so much code as we are doing right now. And AI can write part of the code. GPT-3 is the library provided by OpenAI, Elon Musk, and which is able to provide, I will play it once again, which is able to provide like human-like text. And imagine that GPT-3 might also create long, boring configuration files for your AWS configuration, for example. And from the code perspective, this is already happening. We have AI tools who are not writing code, but making our life much easier and much effective. Tools like Codota for IntelliJ, they can understand context and what you're writing and help you to write your code more effective. Libraries like MLKit, they are ready to use in mobile for your image recognition, for example. It's easy and ready to use. I guess that future development from coding perspective is just a coding simplification. Talking about simplification, if you would ask me what is the future of development in one sentence, I would say that understanding this slide, not from technical perspective, but from business side, is the key for future development. I think that to answer what will be the future development, we should ask ourselves, why do we build applications? We already, let's say, answered that upgrading from Angular 4 to Angular 8, it's not a business driver. You might create the most advanced solutions, but without business need, they are worthless. The same is with the cost effectiveness. We just want to build perfect code, but cost may be so high that no one would like to pay for it, and you will hear no go. Time. Business needs to have something right now, time to market. If the competition will be faster, like the company will lose. And let's take an example. Imagine that you have a perfect greenfield customer, which is selling his product, and he would like to implement all of those things which you can see on the screen. So handle B2B, handle B2C interactions. He would like to have a web UI for customers. He would like to omnichannel. He would like to handle his clients or customers with omnichannel approach. He would like to have some marketing stuff, customer service. So if anyone will have a problem with the product, he can call to the customer service. He would like to integrate with the current systems easily. Maybe some event bus, because the enterprise, let's say, architecture needs that. mobile apps. So we would like to have maybe specific mobile applications for the specific group of people, 360 degree view for our clients. Who are our clients? How we can, let's say, work with them and so on. And beside of that, he would like to create a solution which will be with the market best practices. So he would like to know what his competition is doing, and he would like to do it the same or even the better. And the first approach, which is quite, I guess, obvious for all of you, and I assume that you've built thousands of REST services, events, like built custom logic, but you are already specialist in that. So I don't want to be boring, but probably the most common answer for those requirements which I've showed, and let's say the time frame for this project will be like 2 or 3 months, let's say. And probably the most common answer will be, okay, very nice. How much would it take for create custom development? Beside of the limited time frame, it will be, I guess, that even impossible to deliver this kind of scope fast. Every morning, scratch. Would you like to now handle emails on your own in your company domain by hiring a specialist from phishing attacks? Or would you like to buy a Gmail package to handle that? To be honest, I do not know any serious company who would like to do it right now. 20 years ago, like, the approach was a little bit different. People, they were building everything from the beginning because, like, software as a service was not introduced yet. Second approach will be the AI. This is rather, I would say, really, really distant future. Until we will not get to the general AI, the AI we are calling right now, it's like some algorithm. We have some algorithm able to do some image recognition, to do some voice commands, but it's really, let's say, specific it's really specific to some requirement. It's not like AI can do everything from ourselves. Of course, there are many interesting projects like Google Duplex, which is able to be like assistant call, but this is something still specific, which was pre-built using AI. But we are calling AI some let's say only learned algorithms. That's all. When I started my first job, I decided to create a blog about Google Cloud, and it was called blaszkiewicz.com. I was working then with Angular, so I decided to write it in Angular, of course. Everything custom, adding new posts in JSON, dynamic configuration, and dynamic configuration, and so on. But I had quite a fun when I was building that. It was my, let's say, first project. But adding every post, it was not easy. I was focusing on keeping blog site live rather than focusing on content delivery. And when I was creating my new blog after 5 years, I decided to use WordPress. And thanks to that, I don't care. We are coming to the most important part, no-code solution. And WordPress can be a great example of usage of no-code solutions. Who would like to build a no-code solution right now? You can build add-ons built on the core, but the core stays the same. I wanted to show you a few examples of no-code solution, starting from a web page builder, which is called Wix. And I've built that, like, I've built my Salesforce Academy based on the Wix. It was just a few days of work, and the rest of them I've spent on content delivery. I will show you in a minute my latest funding, Google AppSheet, which is the greatest powerful tool for G Suite package. And I would like to show you also how it can easily integrate with the Salesforce ecosystem. Okay, let me stop sharing right now, and I'll do a short. Okay, not here. I'll do a short demo. Okay. We almost have it. Okay. I hope that you see my screen. Okay. Okay, beside of that, this is Salesforce, but I will come to that later. This is an AppSheet. AppSheet is, let's say, an extension because Google bought this company like almost a year ago. They have some pre-built, let's say, application like that before, but they were not working as good as this solution is working right now. Okay, I would like to show you how powerful this tool is and how the programming will be changing into this way. I would like to create a new application, and I would like to start with an idea. Okay. And Google AppSheet is asking us, what kind of data does your app have? And I would like to create an application that my users can collect data about people. Okay, users can collect data about people. And as you can see, or you cannot see, not yet. Okay, so we are synchronizing that. We have pre-built application, which is able to gather information about the people. So you can go into the details of the person, and you can create a new person in this application. You can provide name, surname, home address, and so on. Like, it's really easy to use. But you, as a developers, Java developers, and so on, you might think, okay, it's really limited about customization, but it's not so true. I'll go into the person, and I see, okay, I would like to have a gender property here. So I'm writing a person has gender property. Okay. We are synchronizing the application. As you can see, we have a gender property. But let's extend a little bit this application. This app can collect orders. Okay, this app has a collection of orders, let's say. Okay. And as you can see, I have a collection of orders in place. But I would like to connect somehow orders with a person. So a person has many orders. Okay. We are synchronizing the application. We are on person level. And as you can see, we have a, let's call it related list of orders related to this user. This is how simple is that. And do you think that you need a bunch of developers working with that? No, it will be like business users, even in the Gmail domain or Google domain, then can create this application. And you can, for example, create some easy POC to your, let's say, few users. It's really fast to use. And like what this business is looking for is like business is looking this kind of even sometimes shortcuts to create something simple and provide a value really fast. But I would like to show you how more powerful this tool is. And this is one of the pre-built applications. Maybe I will come back and show you okay, what I can do here. Also, besides of building application from the idea, you're also create or start with a sample app. And you have many pre-built categories here and many applications beside of those categories. So for example, sales and CRM, you have e-commerce stores and so on. But I would like to give you one example about the package delivery application. And the package delivery application, how we can extend it. Because, okay, you may say, where is the database connection, or how I can gather the data, because right now everything is stored in the spreadsheet. And for some users, it's fine. But it's not like this solution, it's not so limited. You can, for example, I would like to show you how you can connect this solution with Salesforce. And let's imagine a situation that you have a users delivering those packages. But for some time, those users would like to raise a case related to maybe some package or related to their incident on the road. So I'll show you how to connect data. So I'll create a new table. I have already connected data source as Salesforce 1, which is Salesforce. But you can connect online databases. I'll show you that in a minute. So I would like to connect case object or case table. As you can see, the security is on this level, so you don't need to think about which access my users will have and so on. So it's easily, let's say, configurable. And right now we are downloading the schema from Salesforce. I'll show you columns which I got. Okay, so I have the full schema of the case object. Okay, and what I need to do is this is one of the requirements of the ID. So I need to put it here. It's like Salesforce require ID. Okay, and we do not see this data on the UI yet. So let's create a new view and let's call it case. And I would like to connect to the case object. Cool. As you can see, I have a view type, different view types. They are basic view types available, but I can choose a table. Maybe it not looks perfect. This is like a basic view, but it shows the most important information for the user. And I've created a list, a list button, let's call it, to the case object. And let's try to create a case. So there is test. Row ID is required. I need to save that because I didn't save the database schema on this initial ID. Okay, let me try once again. I hope it will work. There are many configurations here, so I don't want to go into the details how you can build the UI, but you can build this UI, like you can create a bunch of behaviors and so on. Let me try once again. Okay, and let me synchronize it. Cool. Let me go to the list of cases. This is my case because it's empty. I didn't provide any contact ID. Yes, it's supplied name, it's test case, and case number is 1029. So I'll copy this number and I will use a global search in Salesforce. And I have all of those informations already in place. Creation date, 1049. It's a different time zone, so it's 10 rather than 11. Okay, but it's working really, really well. This is how the integrations even can look like in the future. And for this kind of operation, maybe at some point you will need developer, but to create some basic stuff, you just need business users who would like to develop this kind of solutions, and they can build it easily, even with the integration to the external systems. And I would like to show you also, for now, what possibilities we have, or maybe which data sources we can connect to the app sheet. And the new data source. And as you can see, I can choose a cloud database, on-premise database, Salesforce, OData, like there is a lot of data sources here. And I guess that like when it will be growing, because keep in mind, like it was bought by Google 1 year ago, and how this solution can look like in next 5 years or 10 years. From my point of view, like it will be magic. Okay, let me come back to the presentation right now. Okay. One second, please. Fortunately, moving between screens, it's not so easy sometimes. Okay. But I guess, okay. We are almost fine. Cool. Okay, let's continue with the presentation. So next slide. You've seen how powerful no-code solutions can be, but at some point, we need to find a balance between sometimes simple no-code solutions and enterprise solutions. I'm not sure, have you ever heard about citizen development approach? This approach means that you can bring your business users to create simple applications on their own. We already done it for some clients, and I know that many business users are eager to do development, and not every company needs army of developers to create something simple. But if you want to go big, do you remember the list of the requirements which I've showed you before? Like everything can be done in Salesforce almost out of the box, including data model, integrations, UI, like everything. It's just a matter of configuration. And Salesforce have many predefined functionalities and support many industries, which the day-to-day problems, let's say, are already solved. And believe me, like if industry have some problem, there's already Salesforce pre-built package or cloud, which you can find. Or if you will not be able to find it directly in Salesforce, there is something called App Exchange, where we can build some, let's say, add-ons or new applications for Salesforce, for the Salesforce platform. And you can bring this value to your users like really, really fast. And Adidas is a great example of seeing this power of Salesforce technology, like starting from a web page, which is completely built on the Commerce Cloud. You'll get recommendations, which are driven by the Salesforce AI called Einstein. And going with the Marketing Cloud, which is where you are able to send a bunch of emails to your specific users to keep your customers happy with the customer service using Service Cloud. So whatever interaction you might have, it is already done with Salesforce ecosystem. And Adidas is only one example. Reebok, New Balance, Coca-Cola, Volvo, and many, many more are working with Salesforce. Salesforce is not only extending the core of the platform, but it's building ready-to-use solutions, for example, for automotive, customer goods, retail, based on the world's leading company experience. If you are not able to code in Java or maybe if you are able to code in Java or Python today, tomorrow your value will not be counted, let's say, in the way of your, maybe in code quality, it will be still counting, but your value will be counted how your code can relate to the coding standards in the industry. And on the right-hand side, you can see all of the industries or most of the industries which Salesforce is already supporting. I hope that you are familiar with Azure Functions or Google Functions or AWS Lambda. And to give you some understanding of Salesforce, they are new there's new functionality called Salesforce Functions, which is available on the platform. So you can execute right now easily code, not in native code, which is called Apex, but you can execute it in Java or JavaScript. And thinking about future, functions is, from my point of view, the last hope for the standard programming, which we know right now. Rest will be no-code solutions, or maybe in the longer future, artificial intelligence. We are talking a lot about business, and I consider myself as rather technical person rather than business person. And I consider Salesforce as a great combination of technology and the business. More strict, people may think like only Java or Python are like serious development. Rest is only a joke. But okay, maybe HTML is, but okay, Salesforce is not. When I'm looking how many programmers we are producing right now, like the number is enormous. Like competition in Java technology is going bigger and bigger, and younger people have a great technical skills. The concept the concept of programming in Apex, in Salesforce, or in the Java, we are using the same concepts. But we are, with Salesforce, for example, we are working with the higher abstraction. And the question to you is that, are you not technical when you are using AWS? You are technical, but you have a different skill set. Still, you need to understand the concept of HTTP, authentication, REST services, and so on. Like the core is not changing. And it's not like the no-code solutions are out of code. You are technical, so you're writing code. And writing code in Salesforce is like reusing AWS or Azure packages. To work with them efficiently, you need to know the commands. But coming to the beginning of the presentation is the same sequence of the procedures and the same algorithms which we are using in the basic of programming. Will I still have a job? Of course you will, but in a different area. If you are looking for future high salary jobs, you need to go out from your comfort zone. Of course, you will think, I'm Java developer, I can learn everything in 2 weeks. Sure you do. But moving from Java to Python is like quite easy. But moving from Java, let's say, to Apex, okay, maybe it's possible, but it might be tricky. Can programmers be replaced? Of course they can, but then I do not know. We still need COBOL programmers, as my friend is saying. So to be honest, when they will be replaced, we will see in the future. But from the other side, the question is, do you want to be a COBOL programmer in the next years? Or do you want to go with the technology trends and work with the newest technology and the enterprise standards? This was a slide about how the learning also is changing, and I would like to recommend you. I guess that Skillshare you already know, but you might not know the TryHead. TryHead is a platform already pre-built by Salesforce, providing, let's say, most of the information which you need to start working with Salesforce. So you can start learning Salesforce on your own using TryHead. From the other side, if you want to start learning with the people who have more experience, you can work with the Salesforce Academy. I guess that we need to understand how we will change, the same as the people had to understood that we will move from code to the cloud. But the question is, do you want to be before anyone else? Thank you very much for this time which you've spent with me. And if you are interested, or maybe your company is interested in no-code solutions with the GSU, Salesforce, and so on, please contact me. Or maybe if you are looking for a job, we are also open to. We are all hiring a lot of people, so also please contact me. Okay, and if you will have any questions, maybe right now or after this presentation, so let me know. You'll have a contact. You can contact me by email, or you can find any information on Road to CA or Salesforce Academy. Are there any questions? To be honest, I do not see. Oh, I see chat right now. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you, Tomek. Cool. To be honest, I do not see questions here. Don't be so shy. Of course, as I've mentioned before, you can contact me by email, but if there is no question right now, I guess that, okay, are viable for the wider public? I think yes. I know a guy who is really a fan of using no-code solutions, and I guess that most of people who are starting with their businesses, they are using no-code solutions right now. So, for example, Shopify is a great example of using it publicly. So you are creating a like store in few minutes, and you can sell your products easily. Who would like to even like reusing Magento for the smaller requirement, or any pre-built, let's say, e-commerce applications can be maybe done easily, but it will require some work from your end. So every POCs, I guess that double check. We need to differentiate, I guess, the enterprise solutions which we are deployed to the thousands of users, beside of the, let's say, smaller solutions for the business which they require. Right now, I guess that we are on the level of starting with the no-code solutions. I'm saying that beside of Salesforce, because Salesforce is a no-code solution which enterprises are doing. So I guess that we should, for this time, differentiate between enterprise and smaller companies. But I guess like in the next year, it will be a big boom for that. So I guess we can close the call. Thank you very much for the participation, and hear you soon. If you'll have some more related questions to me, specifically to me, like, send me an email. Thank you very much, and hear you soon.